Hey Maggie, what are you doing?
Tyler.
Looks like you've been researching or working with your glasses on and you look.
I'm doing some studying. I'm
Right.
refreshing my mathematical skills because they are rusty.
So I had this dilemma, or I
Okay.
would say this question lingering in my head. I thought I'll take your perspective.
Okay.
Because we met and we had this conversation about following your dream. We often
Mm.
speak about follow your dreams. How would you follow your dreams? There are so many hurdles in this life. You have to carry on going. And
Mm-hmm.
I thought, people generally they opt out for like easy subjects or things they can find it easy to research upon or to follow, like everyone is following the trend. But you follow the
I go
track,
against the grain.
literally fight against the tsunami wave. Everyone is going away, you're running into the tsunami. So it's like, how would you find this kind of courage? What's your perspective? What's your viewpoint on that? Enlighten us, please.
Your questions. Okay. Um, that's quite. There's not like. Firstly, I would say there's not one size fits all. I
Mm-hmm.
think also, I don't want to generalize, so I just want to put that out there. But I think, a person's character can definitely play a part. So, there are people, and also maybe your like maturity levels, I don't know, but I think for me, certainly, I was much more prone when I was younger to following the crowd and to peer pressure. And then when I realized that following the crowd didn't serve me, um, you know what I mean? I feel like maybe maturity is the wrong word, potentially life experience. It teaches you things that just because everyone else is doing it, one size does not fit all. And to be receptive to that and to realize it's okay to be an individual. Because the thing is, I think what you do and the way that you come across to others, you like does attract like. So I think initially I was scared that I'd be like, Billy no mates and, not have any friends, nobody, like I would just be totally misunderstood. But actually, in doing that, I then attracted people that shared very similar values to myself, and were very much individuals in their own right. So yeah, I don't know if I'm like blabbering here, but I guess life experience is one, being courageous, and I guess also it can be difficult to not succumb to peer pressure without knowing yourself. So, and that takes time and that takes patience. So I think we should all be patient with ourselves, and also through life experiences, writing down on a piece of paper what your values are and what you're looking for. And I even wrote a letter to myself in 10 years' time, of saying the things that I wanted to have achieved and the person I was, so that I can become that person, and maybe even a different version of that. But you know what I'm saying? So I would be like, dear 27-year-old Maggie, I am now doing this. This is my life. This is what I'm doing. And yeah, and having that kind of visualization really, really helps for me. Like manifesting what it is that you really want in your heart. And I think when your heart is almost set on fire by what you really want, it is really difficult then, even with peer pressure, in my opinion, to then go back to that. When when you've been exposed to something you truly want, or a way of life that you feel is very, very important to follow, it is very difficult then, having seen the light, to then actually just do what everyone else is doing just because that's the thing to do. So yeah, I think that's what I would say for that. How about you?
So in the last conversation we were having, in the last conversation we had, Katie and Will, they were talking about their experiences. There was a time when your entire focus was like shifted, and your face it became like fully focused on something. Like you are
Like a
focusing on
puma.
something, and the puma look, and yeah, it's like puma is getting ready to attack on a prey. That kind of focus. And I picked it. I was like, hang on, I need to ask her this because there must be something that you'll be thinking that's relative to this scenario, and you can apply that into anything, your career choice, your direction of your, I don't know, your studies, education that shapes you for your rest of your life, because the formative years you choose to go towards certain direction, and that will shape your future because you are absorbing certain form of information. And then I thought, let me ask you, so knowing the perception that is kind of engraved in your mind as an individual, you then decided to follow a track which is not easy. How and why would you do that? It's interesting because those warriors, those leaders who's left a mark on the history, they
I was literally just thinking that. I was trying to remember where I'd read this quote. Go on, finish it. Sorry.
they always go against the flow.
Yes. Nobody who's ever achieved anything that is extraordinary followed the crowd.
Yeah,
And
and
the
you have
listeners
to,
can argue with me if they want, but I really truly believe that.
yeah, you'll get abused, you'll get casted out, you'll get called, you feel sick sometimes because there's so much negativity is being thrown at you. And I'm a firm believer on negativity is equals to mc square, Einsteinian physics, or you can quantify it into Newtonian physics from 1600. It's all the same thing. Then you can
Yes.
invite Uncle Tesla in it. When Uncle Tesla comes in, then everything becomes who you are. So anything
Yes.
that you can physically and metaphysically, it manifests its qualities on you. You have to keep that quite powerful. Like, yeah, I want this, I know this. Absorb as much information as you can because it will teach you the mechanism, excuse me,
Excuse
call
you.
it. And then based on that, all that information is absorbed, then your mind will start connecting the dots and it will tell your heart what to follow and you'll know. So I think that's the same thing in your case that you decided to
That's
go
what I was
towards
saying.
that
Like
track.
when your heart suddenly, lit up, it's very, very difficult to turn away. And, we don't talk about religion on our podcast. However, there is a quote from the Bible that I do want to share. So, John 15:18, it said, "If the world hates you, ye know that it hated me before it hated you."
I love that. I love that.
So, yeah. But anyway, on that note, I'm a busy woman with busy things to do, and
Well,
nothing ever was done without hard work and perseverance. So, I'm going to go. But thank you so much for speaking with me because that was a great, great conversation.
you're welcome. And thank you for the enlightenment. Well, I'm
Thank
going
you
to
for
pick
yours.
hard work and perseverance. I'm going to pick you up on that next time. Stay tuned,
Okay.
people. My coffee.
Bye.
Bye.